Welcome back to part 3 of the top 7 books to master your mindset, where each day we're breaking down one big actionable idea from one of the top 7 books that has genuinely changed the way we think and the way we live.
Today's book will change how you see failure, how you respond when things get hard, and if you're a parent, it will also completely change how you talk to your kids.
Life is beautiful.
So Carol Dweck is a psychology professor at Stanford, and for the longest time, she's obsessed with answering this question. Why do some people crumble when things get really hard, but others succeed? So she does one of the most famous experiments in psychology. She basically takes these kids, gives them an IQ test, but she splits them into 2 groups after they take it and praises them very differently. So for the first group, she tells them, let's say the kid got 8 right, okay? Wow, you got 8 right. You must have worked really hard on this. That's group number 1. The second group, she says, wow, you got 8 right. You must be really smart. So basically, she praised one group for their effort and the other group based on their talent and their identity.
Their intelligence.
Based on their intelligence. And then something interesting happened. She brings them back in, but this time she makes the IQ test like so much harder than the first one. Okay. And now these same kids, these 2 groups go and they do the same IQ test, but the kids who were told they were smart fall apart. Like halfway through the IQ test, they get frustrated and they basically give up completely halfway through. The people who were told that they must have worked really hard at this were still enjoying the challenge, and they ended up completing the thing and having better scores than the people who were told that they were smart.
Wow.
So basically, this is setting up. And there's actually a fun fact about this study that I forgot to mention.
What's that?
I was one of the kids in this study.
No.
I am the kid who was told that they were smart their whole life because I am the kid who this book was made for.
So this book really impacted
The book we're talking about, by the way, is Mindset, if you haven't figured it out. Mindset by Carol Dweck.
How can we not have this book on the list for a podcast called The 7-Minute Mindset?
Yeah, so big idea in mindset is this idea that there are 2 different mindsets that we can have. We can either have a fixed mindset or we can have a growth mindset. And a fixed mindset are the kids who were told that they were smart, right? What it means is that you believe that your success in life is determined by innate talent. So it's either you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And so when you're faced with a challenge and you believe that you have it or you don't, you're going to either crumble or get too high on your high horse.
That's where what you said comes in a lot, which is quitting.
Exactly.
Right? Because and when you're fixed, you're just like, all right, I'm not good at this. I'm going to just quit.
Exactly. Whereas a growth-minded person believes that anything is possible as long as they put in enough effort.
Yep.
So they don't believe that talent is fixed. They believe that they can do anything that they set their mind to as long as they work hard at it.
And that's where the perseverance comes in.
Exactly. So for the longest time, I had a fixed mindset, a very, very fixed mindset, because I've talked about this on this podcast before. I was known as the golden child in our family. One of the golden children in our family, where I would basically always get hundreds, and Mom still to this day, even after hearing me talk about this over and over in podcast episodes, still says, "You're the best, Mikey. You're the best." And that just gave me this identity of I'm the best. And anytime I didn't live up to the best, I would crumble and I would quit. And it was the reason why I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I quit too soon, and I was miserable for a good portion of my life because I had this fixed mindset.
So how'd you overcome it?
Reading this book definitely helped, but I got to be honest, it came down to one, there's certain times in life where an idea just clicks for you specifically.
Yeah.
And this idea set up my brain to be able to receive this idea that I'm about to talk about. But it's really, one time I heard, think like a scientist. Basically, anytime you're faced with failure, don't think of it as something that is final. Think of it as information. Because when a scientist approach a problem and they use the scientific method, what do? They set the theory, and then they test it out, and then they use that as information, and they test it against their hypothesis, and then they use that to form a new hypothesis, and then they just keep learning and learning and learning. And for some reason, that idea just has clicked for me. and I've like taken on this identity. I think that's why, because I pivoted my identity to like a scientist. Oh,
Mm.
I'm a scientist. It still makes me feel like intelligent.
So everything is data and feedback.
Exactly. Yeah. So anytime, so for example, we just had this big interview with the holistic psychologist, and we had really, at least I had really high hopes because she has like 8 million Instagram followers. So I'm thinking, oh, this interview is going to be a hit. We're going to get millions of views on the reels and shit. And then we end up posting it, and it kind of flopped. And the old Mike would have been in a fixed mindset and would have made that mean I suck, I'm a failure. How can I take this 8 million follower person and make it flop? That must mean I suck. That's what a fixed mindset person would do. But the new scientist, growth-minded version of myself said, this is data. This is information. Let me learn from this. What happened in these videos that caused it to flop, and how can I make sure it doesn't happen again next time? And so I didn't take it personal. I just said, okay, let me learn from this.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, I think being your business partner for the last 10 years now, I've seen firsthand you really make this shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And I got to say, it's also made you just such a happier person.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're actually just so much more successful too because of this. Like, you're not giving up on things that in the past you would have just given up at. You're really sticking through and figuring things out now, and it's a really cool thing to see from where I'm sitting.
Thanks, Bill. I'm sorry to hijack this entire conversation.
No, this book is definitely yours. I feel like this book was awesome for me because it just gave me validity to how I was already operating because of my dyslexia. I was always having to work harder than everyone else. So it made me, I was almost forged into the growth mindset because of my, whatever you want to call it, setback growing up. And reading this book just basically reinforced that for me and made me realize why I never give up on things and why I'm always so persistent, because I'm all about the effort.
Yeah, I remember when we first started working together, you kept saying, you need to read this book. You need to read this book. You need to read this book because you wanted me to have the growth mindset with you so badly. But we're going a little over here, so sorry about that. But let's wrap this up with a call to action. And what I think is the easiest thing to take away from this book. It's the power of one word that Carol Dweck teaches, the simplest framework from the book.
Yeah, I like this.
It's the power of yet.
Yeah.
So a fixed mindset person looks at something that they're trying to achieve, and when they struggle, they say, I'm not good at this. All right. I'm not good at this. Whereas a growth-minded person in the same exact scenario looks at that same exact thing and says, I'm not good at this yet.
Or I haven't figured this out yet.
Exactly. So the call to action for today is to think of something you really, really want right now. Bring it to mind. So, for example, this thing that we keep talking about is very, very relevant for us right now is I really want to nail this keynote presentation coming up. I really want to nail it. Okay. Now fill this in. I really want X, whatever that is for you, but Y, and fill in a reason for doubt. So to make this example clear for you, I really want to nail this keynote presentation coming up, but I don't know anything about stage presence. Like, I've never learned about stage presence and how I'm supposed to actually act on stage. Now, just add the word yet. It's really that simple. So I really want to nail this keynote presentation coming up, but I don't know anything about stage presence yet.
So it means you're going to learn it.
So that means now let me go learn it. It puts me in a mindset of like, okay,
I'm going to figure it out.
I'm going to figure it out.
I like it.
Yep. So whatever it is, do that for you, and boom, you're in the growth mindset.
Love it. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Sorry for being a little over. Love you. Hope it was worth it.
Love you. Peace.